Hey folks, Dylan Bressie here from Grand Prairie City Council, and I want to share with you a conversation that's going on at Council Committee of the Whole on Monday. It's about photo radar, also known as Automated Traffic Enforcement, or ATE. Today, automated enforcement in Grand Prairie is carried out by a contractor, Global Traffic Group, and their contract with the city is up on May 31st. So there's a recommendation coming before us to renew their contract for 3 years. I am fundamentally opposed to this recommendation, and so I want to share some of my thinking with you. But first, a bit of history. Between 2010 and 2014, in the city of Grand Prairie, there was a 155% increase in the number of accidents we were seeing. By 2014, someone driving down a road in Grand Prairie was 3.8 times more likely to be in a traffic accident that injured them than somebody driving in Calgary. That wasn't okay. That had to be fixed. And so the council of the day adopted the Safe City Roads Action Plan. It included a number of safety strategies, including automated enforcement. And this action plan has been very successful. Every single year since it was brought in, year over year, we're seeing the number of violations decline. So people are making better choices while they drive. And that's showing up in the accident stats. Since 2015, we've seen a 44% decrease in the number of accidents on our roads. And that's all while traffic counts are going up. So our roads are busier, but they're also safer. There's been success, which is great to see. However, we can always get better. And I think, especially in the area of automated enforcement, there's room to improve. There's changes we can make to both better promote public safety, but also to increase public confidence in the enforcement measures we're taking. I know as this contract is coming to its end, our city staff have a number of changes they want to make. For example, they're looking at analytics that are suggesting that automated enforcement at stop signs is no longer leading, so they're proposing to axe that, which I know will make a lot of people very happy to hear. However, there's a bunch of other changes that I'd like to see. For example, I'd love to see us have more transparency and accountability over the sites that get selected for automated enforcement. I'd love us to put more parameters around where these enforcement vehicles can park. I'd also like us to make a number of these enforcement vehicles a lot more visible so people have that very clear cue while they're driving to please slow down. However, the main thing I want to change is our relationship with the frontline people issuing fines through automated enforcement. Because I have this fundamental belief that enforcement cannot be about revenue. Instead, it just has to be about safety. And I know when I talk to the staff who work for the city, that's the lens that they're approaching enforcement with. Enforcement revenue, especially from automated sources, frankly, it's not a huge revenue line for the city. And we don't have anybody whose job is tied to how many fines get handed out. So for our city staff, it's all about safety. However, I can't say the same thing for this contractor, because how they get paid isn't based on the number of hours they're doing enforcement or based on the number of accidents we have in the city and whether or not those are going down. Instead, they get money for every single ticket that gets handed out that leads to a successful conviction or to a guilty plea. The more tickets they put out the door, the more money they get paid. And that's a huge problem to me. So I hope that council will join me in pushing for reform. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some benefits to having a contractor. For example, when you've got a contractor who's serving in many different areas, they can deliver programs more efficiently than we could as a city. This contractor, because they're in so many places, they've developed some pretty good informational tools that can be used to increase public transparency and help us as council make better decisions. Also, there's always the risk with automated enforcement that the province will make some changes and investments in equipment or training people will be thrown out. And when we have a contractor, they bear all those risks. There's some reasons why it might be worth having a contractor doing our enforcement. But for me, I cannot live with having their revenue tied to how many fines they hand out. So if a change was suggested, such as we pay this contractor based on how many hours they're doing enforcement instead of how many fines they hand out, I could maybe get on board with that. Or if council said, hey, we want to bring enforcement in-house, but we need 6 months to do that, so we're going to have a short-term renewal, I could maybe get behind that. But the status quo we have right now, I am completely against it. So I hope that committee will insist on change. Anyways, that's where I'm at right now. If you want more information, or if you want to see a list of 10 changes I'd like to see done to our enforcement programs, please go check out my website. You can find all this info at bressie.ca/photoradar. There, I'll also put up a link so that you can watch this council committee meeting live when it happens on Monday. And of course, if you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to me on social media, or you can give me a call or email to arrange a phone call or a Zoom call. Anyways, once again, I'm Dylan Bressie, and I really appreciate you giving me a listen. Thank you.